Hey all, Moto here, and today this video is for those of you fighting your way through the zombie apocalypse in 7 Days to Die with a controller. The controller layout and shortcuts in this game are very different than the average game with controller support. So here are 15 quick tips to make your zombie slaying a little easier and more efficient. And one thing to note, I am on my Xbox Series X today, but I do play on Steam. I use the same settings over there. I assume PlayStation 5 is also the same. So just remember, if you're using a PlayStation controller, for example, if I say X, it's going to be different for you. I don't have my PlayStation anymore. I don't remember the buttons. I guess I could look them up, but you probably have them memorized already. Here we are in one of my Xbox playthroughs. Disregard the fact that I just died. So by default in the controller settings, the very first thing I had a problem with was sprint lock. And I think it's more so just the way they named it. I was looking for more of like a sprint toggle. I just want to be able to click in once and I sprint. And by default, you click in once and you sprint, you can let go. You don't have to hold it down. And then if you stop, let's say you just, I don't know, pick up a rock and then you start to go again, you're sprinting. And so you're always sprinting until you run out of stamina. And I don't like that for me personally. I highly recommend the setting, like especially if you've played a lot of other games that, have sprint in them. If you turn sprint lock to no, hit apply. Now what happens, I'm walking, I click in once and I'm sprinting. I don't have to hold it. I let go. Let's say I go look at something and now I'm walking and I'm not sprinting. And if I want to sprint, I just click in and then I stop and I'm walking until I click into sprint. That's how I like, it's more of like a toggle sprint option. But if you do like that always on sprint, you'll want it on yes, which I think Ark Survival Evolved did it that way, I believe. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2 isn't super exciting, but if you go to your controller settings, I highly recommend dropping your dead zone down a little bit just to make the controls feel a little snappier. I have mine set at 2. I'm not getting any stick drift. However, on my other controller, I did, and I had to bump it up to, I believe it was 3, maybe 4. If you bring it down a little bit further, and you start to get some sort of stick drift, like something's floating away or you're turning to the side, just increase the dead zone a little bit. But what dead zone will do is that you won't have to move your thumb as far before the game starts moving you. So it just makes it a little snappier. I'm not sure if that made sense. Let me know in the comments if it did not. Tip number 3, it took me a little while to realize that yes, indeed, you can do the little sprint turbo option on your bicycle. Well, here's the deal. If you want to go faster, like sprint and use your stamina, you need to press RB. So you'll hold your RT and RB at the same time, which I find really, really awkward. So one thing I recommend doing, go to your controller options and vehicle. Down here at turbo, I remapped it to my left thumbstick click so that my running on foot sprint is the same as my bicycle turbo. Tip 4, there are actually 2 steering modes. So for example, I'm on the bicycle and right now I can move the bike left and right with my right thumbstick. I cannot move the camera. It is locked. However, if you click in on the right thumbstick once, now I can spin the camera around with my right thumbstick and now I'm steering with my left. And then I like this. It feels a little more natural and you can kind of look around. It sometimes gets me in trouble and I crash into stuff, but you can look around, you can adjust the height of the camera. You could even do it like overhead. All right, if you've made it this far, thank you. I appreciate you. This is tip 5, and from here on out, they're going to go a lot faster. If you can quick loot, you open up your item, and if you, anything that's over here, basically, just left click on your thumbstick and they fly over. Tip 6, you can quickly move things around your inventory from above down to your toolbar or your toolbar back down just by a right click on your thumbstick. It helps like when you're panicked and you got things happening and you need to get things moved fast. Obviously, you know, you can move things and drag them around, but if you just quickly want to have something down in your toolbar, that's how you do it. Okay, tip 7. If you know this one, you should tell me in the comments because I feel like a lot of people don't know about this because it's not very intuitive. I learned about it during Streamer Weekend that they had for the 1.0 launch, and thankfully I had no idea. Right down at the toolbar, you'll see I have the baseball bat selected. Then where the stun baton is, there's a little like symbol with the 2 arrows, looks like a recycle symbol. All right, that was the last item I used. You can quickly switch back and forth between the last item used with left on your D-pad. So now I've got the stun baton. Now I'm back to the bat, then stun baton. So it really helps move around your toolbar a little bit. Now, like I'm on the bat, and then let's say I go to the bone knife. I have that, and now bat was the last thing I had, so now it's the bat and bone knife. So whatever the last 2 things were, that's what you can switch between. Tip 8, press and hold LB, and boom, you have everything in your toolbar. You can quickly just choose the item you want. Tip 9, if you press and hold B, you have a shortcut to the menu so that you can quickly go into your skills or the map. Just press and hold B, and you'll have whatever you need available. Tip 10, I hope you already know this, but just in case you don't, if you need to quickly repair something in your toolbar, like you're in a battle and you're running and trying not to die, tap B, press Y, hold it, left on your D-pad for repair, and you can just repair it right there. Then it just pops right back into your toolbar right where it was. Tip 11, when you have building blocks, if you press and hold X and go to shape, you'll find you have tons and tons of shapes and you can make almost anything. Just don't forget you actually have pages of these shapes too. It's not just what's on this first page, but it gives you a lot of options of different things you can build. Which leads us into tip 12. If you have a shape and you can't rotate it to the exact angle that you're kind of thinking of, press and hold X, go down to advanced, and now you're going to get a lot more options on which direction these shapes are going to rotate. Tip 13, you can change your ammo types by pressing and holding X. You get a little menu here. You can switch between them. It also works, you know, like on your bow and arrow, if you have like stone arrows and iron arrows and things like that. Tip 14, I'm sort of embarrassed to admit. I have been playing 7 Days since it came out originally on Xbox, and then I've been playing the last 4 years on Steam, and then now I'm playing on Xbox some more. Well, I sort of didn't know this, and I think this has probably been here the whole time. As a person who plays with controller, I have a melee weapon. I'm pressing right trigger to hit them like this. But I just literally figured, I can't even say it. I literally figured this out a few days ago. You can left trigger and you have like a power hit. And let me tell you, some of these zombies go flying. It does use more stamina, but yeah, left trigger, it like hits them hard. And it's really handy at times when you've got like a big swarm coming at you and you can at least knock 1 or 2 down, but you just have to manage your stamina. But I had no idea. All these years, I'm pretty sure it's been here the whole time. And yeah, so now I know. And now you know too. All right, last tip, tip 15. You know, honestly, most everything you need is in this upper left corner of the menu here. They tell you a lot, like inspect, you know, category. If you select an item, let's say these cobblestone rocks, and then it tells you like X to take half. You could pick it up and then X to place 1. You know, sometimes you might need a more precise amount. So just kind of keep an eye. You know, you've got your sort. And so just keep an eye on the UI. They tell you a lot, but maybe it's just me. I often just totally don't see any of it. All right, I think I have exhausted all of my tips about the controller. I hope this helped you out. Let me know in the comments though, did I miss something big? And if this helped you out or you found remotely interesting, I would really appreciate if you could like and subscribe. It helps me out a ton. Thanks so much. I'll see you next time, and happy zombie slaying.